Salutations, fellow readers, writers, and killers of time on YouTube. My name is Martha Jones, and I am here dressed for the job I want in order to more stylishly use the androgynous sounds of my voice to share with you a few words about Mary Poppins, a character for whom P.L. Travers published 8 books from 1934 to 1988, and for whom Walt Disney damn near pulled out 3 of his own teeth trying to adapt a cohesive story for the silver screen in 1964. For as much as I hate to take the side of Mr. Disney and Company on very nearly anything, I'm actually super impressed at how much of that first formative book in the Mary Poppins series gets incorporated into the movie. Miss Lark, for example, really is Andrew's wealthy, over-attentive dog mom. Miss Persimmon, yes, is the name of Uncle Albert's housekeeper. Mrs. Corey, let's get back to her. Mrs. Corey has some issues. There's a lot of not rightitude to unpack with the character of Mrs. Corey. But she does have daughters, and they are quite a bit taller than she is. Also, as someone who has absolutely pulled 3 of my own teeth trying to assist obstinate authors in the realm of visual storytelling, who know just what they want but no clue what the story needs, when I look at the behavior of Mrs. Travers in Saving Mr. Banks, I am sorry to say I find myself on Team Disney pretty much all the way. And having been the author who knew exactly what she wanted out of the story but did not necessarily always know what was good for the story,
I fought this battle from her side.
I'm glad that smart people have been willing to fight with me and advocate on behalf of my characters, the way Mr. Disney did for Mary Poppins. See, Mary Poppins the book is a great little episodic novel as a string of random character sketches about Bert, Andrew, Mrs. Lark, Uncle Albert, and so on, but without Mr. Banks as the locus of character arc as he was in the movie. The closest thing that first book gets to an antagonist is Mary Poppins herself. That is not irony, that is not edgelordisms. Mary Poppins really is kind of an unpleasant person. She is impatient, she is vain. She makes the Banks children fear her temper so completely that on Mary's bad days, they legit hide from her while trying to stay out of her way. She's also part snake, ? In the same chapter that Jane and Michael hide from their snappish nanny behind the sofa, they end up at the zoo on the night of the full moon, wherein the animals are running things, and like throwing peanuts at zookeepers in the cages. When a friendly polar bear escorts Jane and Michael to the snake house, they find Mary Poppins chatting with her second cousin, who happens to be a cobra. And it's not actually made plain whether the cobras were married into the Poppins family, or whether the Poppins has always had the genetic potential for cobras. What is plain is that Mary Poppins may have realistically spoken Parseltongue 40 years before Harry Potter. And Mary Poppins maybe being part snake is by no means the darkest part of this book. The bird woman is likely crazy and incapable of saying anything other than
feed the birds, tuppence a bag.
And remember Mrs. Corey and her gigantic daughters? Yeah, the daughters never smile because their mother is always quite mean to them, which is weirdly consistent for this book. Grown-ups consistently treat other people's children really well, but not necessarily their own children. Anyway, in the book there are 4 Banks children: Jane, Michael, John, and Barbara. Because Mr. Banks told Mrs. Banks she could have 4 children or a really nice house on Cherry Tree Lane, but not both. John and Barbara are infants and viewing the Mary Poppins adventures from under the hood of their baby carriage, so it's not too awful surprising that they were omitted for the movie, because the story from their point of view would have been really boring. But when they all visit Mrs. Corey's scary old candy shop together, Mrs. Corey has a cutesy goo-goo gaga style conversation with the twins, during which she breaks off 2 of her fingers and gives one to each baby, assuring Jane and Michael that the fingers have turned to barley sugar on which the babies can suckle. So between P.L. Travers and Roald Dahl, Kidlet of the mid-20th century was going through some things. Eventually, the breeze that first brought Mary Poppins changes from east to west, and Jane and Michael know something's up because Mary Poppins is being nice. Michael even goes so far as to say, "Oh, do be cross, Mary Poppins. Do be cross again. It's not like you. I feel so anxious." Mary tells them to be good while she steps out to have her shoes polished. But through the window, the children watch as the breeze catches Mary's umbrella and takes her away, leaving the Banks children to wonder when or if she'll be back. Psst. Abandonment issues, schmabandonment issues, says Mary Poppins. So in short, Mary Poppins was a great movie, an interesting book, and a crackerjack cautionary tale for why you should always check the babysitter's references, Mrs. Banks. Honestly, some people's grown-ups.
I quite agree.
As always, thank you for giving these videos a shot. I post whenever I can. In the meantime, take it easy. That's you. Bye.